introduction. Then you know the good news. The good news is the camper van is definitely fixed. It's working, it's functioning. We've been driving across the town of Pité and around the lake today to make sure everything was all right, but it is fixed. It was fixable. We could fix it, and Jan did it. So now, since you are following our adventures for some days now, here are some details about how it unfolded, because until the very end it was kind of an adventure. So as you can see, the night has already come. We've had a wonderful twilight, just like yesterday. But there is no place where I can really film. Jan is editing music in the camper van, so I was hunting for a space, but the acoustics in the kitchen is not very pleasant, so that will do for tonight. The rest of the adventures, you remember we were waiting for the spare parts coming from Germany via standard delivery by UPS. And the tracking system didn't show any movement on our parcels since, I think, Thursday night or Friday morning. We even asked the kind directress from the camping where we're staying, Lina, and she tried to phone for us, but she got no human on the other side. There was just an answer machine saying that they didn't know when it would be delivered. That was on the Monday. And Jan kept refreshing the page with the updates until somehow it popped that it had been delivered in Pité, which is the nearby town, that it had been delivered to like a place or a locker or somewhere when we're expecting it here, like delivered to the place we were. So Jan searched on Google Maps where there could be any UPS delivery place around the town, and he went biking there at twilight with our son, like very quickly, because some of the places would close early enough, so they really went as fast as possible, and they drove to several places. Some of them had been turned into cafes, and some of them didn't exist, and at some place they found a sort of like poster with a new address for a UPS delivery place, and they went to that address. And actually it's funny because it's the location of the gas station where we filled our gas bottles for heating on the bike, with the bikes. That was kind of an adventure because we use gas to heat the camper van. And then in that gas station, there it was, the parcel was there with the pushing rods all inside, all of them, the 8 of them. Jan checked carefully immediately, so that was already a big relief. He couldn't start on the Monday evening on the repair because by that time it was already night and a bit cold. So he started on the Tuesday morning, and that was rather fast. Hello! This is the magic of video. We are about 250 kilometers southward from the place where I shot last sequence, and today is Saturday, which means things have been running pretty fast once we got the spare parts. So the longest was to wait for the spare parts, and then first also to make up our mind about what was possible with the repair. Should we do it with the repair station or not? Did I have time? Oh, okay, so this is what took time, because once the spare parts were there, Jan was ready, more than ready. He had been watching video tutorials about mechanics on YouTube, and by the way, I'm quite impressed by the dedication of some folks that put online like videos that are so useful and precious and that will help so many people in despair. And because I also tried to film some things around when Jan was working, and I could not even find an angle where I could show you what was happening. So that's one thing. Then I also got some technical documents sent to our repair station, to Michael and Erwan, and they sent us the pictures of the pages, Jan would need to do like the final installation of the pushing rods and also like some fine tuning of all the parts so that it works smoothly. So we had that. And then early morning on Tuesday, it was frozen all around, which means it was about time for us to get moving. We are not so scared about the cold. Our car normally can stand some cold, but it's more about like, will it snow? We are not as well prepared as people in Sweden might be for heavy snow. Anyway, it was frozen, and Tommy, our dear guardian angel, arrived with some tools that he and Jan had been communicating together about what was needed for the final part of the repair. So he had like small extensions and wrenches and all kinds of things that he had borrowed, somewhere his own, somewhere from the workshop, around 3:30 p.m.
La batterie est assez chargée. Ouais, je pense. Suspense.
C'est parce qu'il est froid. Bah, il n'a pas roulé depuis. So it was actually working. You can imagine the joy and the relief when it happened. It was a bit slow to start because it was cold, and also because that poor camper van hadn't been on the road for almost 3 weeks. Jan still needed to put back some like big parts and other elements that he had to take out so that it could access for the repair, first for the timing belt and then also for the pushing rods. So he finished that under the most incredible, precious, wonderful, crazy sunset and twilight. It lasted for hours.
Gossen står på golvet, kräslig som ett träd. Denna vackra flicka vill han sova med. Två i dansen, en och en går fri. Mister du balansen?
I haven't seen such a twilight in a very, very long time. Like many years, and you know, I'm a sunset hunter. If you watch my videos, you know it's something I go after. But it was incredible. It was like the skies were celebrating with us, like this relief and the joy that we could continue the adventure. So then Jan finished mounting all the parts on the camper van, but we decided we would stay 2 extra nights and that we would first drive around in town just in case. Normally everything had been checked at every step. We prefer to play it safe. So the day after we went back to the spare parts shops to Laitis to see Tommy and give him back the tools he had lended us that were super helpful. And just chat. It's nice to meet nice people. It's always nice to meet nice people. And then we started to drive southward. Our initial plan was to drive inlands, not very far from where we were, but to go inlands and visit again maybe Jokkmokk, which is a town where there's a very nice museum dedicated to Sami culture. I had visited 8 years ago. But I wanted to go back because my perspective on Sami culture has most probably evolved, and maybe the museum too, but that will be for another time. The adventure continues. So now we are going southward. Today is Saturday, and on Wednesday we have the boat. We are boarding on the ferry to Germany and performing the first gig in Germany. That will be on Friday in Fritzlar. It's central Germany. I'll link the information below. And then, since we are again back to normal, so we publish, we hope you have seen it and enjoyed it and listened to it, this more important part. We did a cover from the song Teardrop from May Sevatak. It's not a translation from the original song. It's actually it's a Palestinian poetry from the poet Mahmoud Darwish that I got translated into Breton earlier in the spring. I and Jan had been singing it like a cappella, sometimes for demonstrations in support to Palestine. And then I wanted to reuse that same poetry for something else. And now that we are wrapping up all this very unexpected adventure, then of course we are also looking at the lessons we learned. Obviously Jan had a big lesson about self-confidence and about what he can do with car repairs. He used to do a lot of things, but he definitely leveled up. But the biggest lesson is also like to know who to trust and who to listen to when you have people that have different opinions. And sometimes the people to listen to are not the official people with the, maybe not always, the official people with the titles and the diploma and the beer car dealership. And maybe sometimes you can trust people that are also like nice and kind and that want to be helpful, instead of people that are rather abusive towards you. It's something that many of us forget. When I look around, it's something that I hear more than often. So it's a very, very good reminder. And lastly, thank you once again for your nice comments and support, for reaching out. There will be plenty of links like to music and Telegram channels and all this kind of things to follow along. You can leave us a comment, we will reply happily, or a small like, just to tell us that you stayed until there. Take care, kenavo, kenavo.